Hello there, 8th graders. Ms. Ray-Budman here with instructions for Civil War Project number 2. You should have already finished Project 1, which included this Google question. So Civil War Project 2, there are instructions here. You can also click on View Assignment if you'd like to see it in a larger tab. And you also are going to start by looking at the written instructions, which are right here on this Google Doc. So Civil War Project 2 is about abolitionists and some of the famous abolitionists, as well as how the idea of being an abolitionist was really about trying to promote a change in society. And so we're going to kind of use that as our theme for our project. So the instructions are right down here. There are 2 things that you need to complete for this project. Neither of them will be turned into either Google Classroom or to Odysseyware. So you will be submitting these on other platforms. So the first thing you'll do is you'll complete the Nearpod, which we'll go back to here in a minute. You click on the Nearpod, and when you click on the Nearpod, you just need to please make sure you put your full first name right here and at least your last initial. There are more than one of you with the same first name, so it is important that you at least give me your last initial so that I know whose grade I am looking at when I go through your Nearpod. So you'll go through the Nearpod, and as you enter the lesson, you'll answer questions. There's some videos you'll watch, some questions you'll do. And when you get to the end of the Nearpod, you will also find a link, and it's also on this document as well. So when you get to the end of the Nearpod, you will find a link to this Flipgrid. So the first part is to complete the Nearpod. The second thing is to complete the Flipgrid. So for the Flipgrid, you will be recording your own message about how you can be an advocate for positive social change today. Obviously, abolition is no longer an issue, but it doesn't mean that there aren't other things in our society that we could consider being an advocate for. So I want you to think a little bit about what kind of things really matter to you in the community we live. It could be in Mechanicsburg or our larger community. It could be our country, it could be our world, something that really sort of you'd like to see changed in your life. And then as you talk a little bit about what that is, then you're also going to talk about, well, what are things that you could do? Maybe there are things you could do on a small scale or a large scale. So that's what your video is going to be, and you're going to record that and post it on Flipgrid. Please make sure that you have your video on for Flipgrid. These are our opportunities to practice the really important skill of being able to speak. We aren't in a classroom, so you can't speak in front of your peers. So this is how we have to practice that. We need to be able to do it. When you go to high school next year, you will be required to give speeches in front of your peers. You will be required to do videos. And so it's important for you to really learn how to practice that. So make sure your video is on, make sure you look at the camera. You may jot down a few notes if you'd like, just don't read to us. And then you'll turn in your Flipgrid. So those are the 2 things, a Nearpod and then a Flipgrid. Then when you're finished, you'll go into Odysseyware and just turn in Civil War Project number 2. It'll be blank. If you want to write done in classroom so that you know you've put it in there, that's great. You don't have to, but you can. Just make sure you turn it in, and then that way it'll open up your next lesson, and then you can follow the next lesson. So I hope you guys have a great week. This week is the Lunar New Year on Friday, so I hope you have a great New Year. It's the Year of the Ox. And if you guys have any questions about this project, please, let me know. I did put a link on here for an article about the new $20 bill. They are supposedly soon going to be changing the $20 bill to have Harriet Tubman's face on the front. So there's a little article here you can take a look at that I thought you might find interesting, since she's one of the people you'll learn about this week. Have a great week. Take care. Bye.